Hi, Today All Day. We've got a great show for you on this Monday morning, including an all-day exclusive chat you can only see here. But let's kick it off with Pop Star. Carson has a first look at the cover of the Sports Illustrated Swimsuit issue. Plus, an inside look at how Gwen Stefani and Blake Shelton celebrated their 2-week wedding anniversary. Check it out.
We're kicking off Pop Start with a big reveal announcing not one, not two, but 3 cover stars on this year's Sports Illustrated Swimsuit edition. Are you all ready?
Ready.
Here they come. Naomi Osaka, Megan Thee Stallion, and Lena Bloom, the 50th installment of the legendary magazine, hitting a lot of firsts here. We'll start with Megan Thee Stallion, first rapper to be featured on the cover. Lena Bloom is the first transgender cover model. And this year, Naomi Osaka's first time featured in the magazine. Osaka sat down with Sports Illustrated to talk about what it's like venturing out of her comfort zone for that cover shoot and the one piece of advice that she'd like to tell her younger self.
If I could give a piece of advice to my younger self, I would just tell myself to trust the process and not compare yourself to other people. So that's sort of what I try to do on the tennis court.
And there you have it. You can find the issue on stands July 22nd. You can head over to today.com for more information. Next up, our buddies Gwen Stefani and Blake Shelton. It has been a couple of weeks since the couple said I do. They're still married. Is that the news? They did it. Defying the odds. They're still together. They're celebrating by giving fans a look at their, there's plenty of pictures to go around from the big day. Gwen shared this beautiful black and white photo. That's from the ceremony there, captioning the post. Happy 2-week anniversary, Blake Shelton. The couple surrounded by flowers and standing underneath there at that chapel in the middle of nowhere on this property.
And there you are, right there.
And finally, Jenna Fisher is on Pop Star today, and the actress most known for playing Pam on all 9 seasons of The Office is revealing why that beloved character cost her another role years after the famous sitcom wrap. She was telling her former co-star Angela Kinsey on the latest podcast, Office Ladies, that she was fired from Matt LeBlanc's show called Man with a Plan after she shot the pilot, and they showed that pilot to focus groups, and they couldn't get past her old Dunder Mifflin persona.
They liked me, but they said, this is a literal quote.
What?
They said, I don't believe Pam would marry Joey. The chemistry doesn't work between these two. That was the feedback they got.
They could only see you as Pam and Joey.
There you have it. The everlasting fame of being in 2 of the most beloved shows in TV history turns out to be both a blessing and a curse.
Typecast.
Yeah.
Typecast.
All right, Carson.
All right.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Today on the 3rd hour, Dylan and Craig sit down with 8-time Grammy winner Ziggy Marley to chat about his newest accomplishment, a brand new children's book. Take a look.
We are excited for our next guest because he is an 8-time Grammy Award-winning artist who also won an Emmy in 2013 for Outstanding Original Song on a Children's Program. Ziggy Marley is part of the music dynasty started by his father, Bob Marley, one of the pioneers of reggae music.
And if that's not enough, Ziggy, also an accomplished children's author, and he's here today to tell us about his latest book. Ziggy Marley, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Doing great. Here's the thing. I mean, people know you as a very successful musician, part of reggae royalty. How did Ziggy get into writing children's books?
Oh, I have 7 kids, 4 young ones.
That'll do it.
Yeah, that would do it. And I mean, it's an extension of songwriting. I always love writing, and so it's just an extension of writing songs. I love it.
I love it. And your new book is called My Dog Romeo. It started, it's a story based off of a dog that you actually got during the pandemic. So first, tell us more about your dog and why you wanted to turn this into a book.
All right. So my kids, they always wanted a dog, for years now. And my wife was very, very reluctant about it. She was like, oh, the dog is going to be like another baby and, and so forth. So right before the pandemic hit, we got a dog, a puppy. He's a Legato, it's an Italian water dog. And the pandemic hit and we were home together with the dog for the whole year. And, things like that, like animals inspire me, dogs inspire me, birds, nature inspire me. So I wrote a song about the dog, and it's on my latest album, which is a kids album called More Family Time. And we kind of took the song and turned it into a kid's book.
And then you've got another kid's book coming out. This one's called Little John Crow. And you say this is a book that's really an extension of your own childhood. How so?
So when I was growing up in Jamaica, we grew up around we call them jankro. They're turkey vultures. And we always, as a kid, I used to look on them as very, like, scary creatures. And we wouldn't like them, you know. It would be like vultures, jankros, are the stories we would hear as children were really scary. But as I grew up, I realized that these animals are very important to our ecosystem. And so this book kind of goes through that kind of storyline where this vulture really doesn't want to be a vulture because vultures are seen as dirty and nasty and evil. But then he accepts himself as a vulture. And just like I accepted the importance of the vulture, so in the book, this character accepts himself as a vulture and finally fulfills his destiny.
Wow. I love that.
That's a deep children's
that
book,
is
too.
deep and brought to you by nature. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I want to talk about your dad and music. You know, your father was a music legend in the industry, and very instrumental in your career. So what would you say was the best and most impactful advice that he's given you that you've carried with you throughout the years?
I think both my parents, really, my mother and my father, led a life that is not, for me, I didn't learn about things by words or by them telling me things, but by watching them and them being an example. So we learned that we have to help each other. We learn about ideas of unity and love and spirituality. And that really has had an impact on me in all my life and my songs and everything. It's coming from that kind of foundation.
Ziggy, I mean, you've got these two children's books coming out. Does that mean we can expect a new album to drop soon?
Yeah, music always coming out. You know, we're doing a lot of singles nowadays. But yeah, music is always, creativity it's always there. So you can expect something, you know, every now and again we drop a single and maybe an album later this year.
Yeah, 'tis the new model. Singles, not
singles.
albums. Ziggy Marley, thanks for waking up so early, Ziggy. Thank you. Always a treat.
Thanks, Dylan. See you guys.
And My Dog Romeo is out next week. Little John Crow is available for pre-order now. Always love hanging out.
I know.
Welcome back today on Hoda and Jenna. We've got all the latest from Tokyo as our countdown to the Olympics begins. Check it out.
So it was so weird to wake up this morning because the Olympics, you know, the drum is beating. We're excited. I'm leaving on Saturday to go. Savannah's already there. We have a whole crew going. And we just learned that a member of the USA gymnastics team tested positive for COVID. So, of course, that spun everybody into a frenzy. And they confirmed it was not Simone Biles.
Yeah, I love how that's the first confirmation. Don't worry.
And the Japanese officials mentioned that was someone who's between the ages of, like, I don't know, 15 and 19.
Yeah.
19 was the outside, so that narrowed it down. But it is an alternate. And they also said that there was also a close contact, which means another alternate. So two alternates are kind of out of commission on USA Gymnastics.
Yeah, I mean, over the weekend, too, we found out that tennis star Coco Gauff, who people love, revealed that she also tested positive for COVID-19, and she will not be attending.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is one of those things that you just don't know, like, how it's going down. Nobody knows who was vaccinated and who wasn't. And a lot of athletes, I'm sure, you know, those who chose not to probably think to themselves, well, I want to be in perfect condition for my one moment that I've trained for years and years. And I was wondering about the gymnastics because, you know, you wonder about close contact. But I couldn't help but think that they probably keep the alternates separate from the gymnastics team for the very reason they were brought there in case someone needs to be replaced. So maybe it will stay contained, hopefully, to just those two.
Are you looking forward to it? Are you getting excited?
I am excited. I mean, I'm excited because there's something about an Olympic game that isn't under normal circumstances that makes it kind of extra exciting to me in a way, because there are Olympics that we've gone every 4. They're great and beautiful, and you know exactly what's going to happen, and it's great. But you know, when you do something that has a different feel to it, it makes it kind of its own. Like, we will never forget these Olympic Games.
Yes.
Whatever goes down. I'm not sure what will go down, but whatever goes down. But all I know is people are going to win gold, silver, and bronze medals. And they're going to do it whether the stadium's full or the stadium's empty. People are going to have life-changing moments, whether or not you're going to see them with a mask on or not. Like, it doesn't...
And the world is coming together.
Yes.
I mean, not, you know,
Yes.
and we'll get to see it from the comfort of our couches.
I mean...
The world coming together. I think even that opening ceremonies will be super
Oh, I think it's going to be
special.
amazing. Savannah's there now prepping for it. She's doing it with Mike Tirico. That's going to be amazing. And I think, look, it's easy to say, well, oh, look what happened here, and oh, look what happened here. But the bottom line is these kids, and they are kids, most of them, have trained for this moment. Like, they can't hear us in the stadium, but they're going to hear us anyway. And
I feel like they're going to hear you.
Well,
are you going to be outside the stadium with like a bullhorn?
How
are you planning to cheer?
If they let one person into that gymnastics arena, it's going to be you. It's going to be me.
It better be. Okay,
Yeah.
so as we count down to the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games this Friday, we're kicking off a new series.
That's what it is, okay? So we don't know Japanese, any of it, so we are going to learn some Japanese phrases.
Okay, this is super cool. We were looking for help, and we found it in our own backyard. Our graphics coordinator, C. Tambanadit, happens to be fluent.
See? Yeah, she had a degree in Asian Studies from DePaul University. She had a concentration in Japanese culture. Okay, girl, we are ready. We need to learn. We are your students. So you're going to teach us some common Japanese greetings?
Yes, today we're going to start with 3 very easy greetings that you're going to need to know when you go to Japan.
Okay.
So first and foremost, good morning.
Yes.
And this is going to be split into 2 words. Okay. The first word is Ohio, which is just like the state. Very easy.
Ohio. Okay.
Perfect. And then the second part is gozaimasu.
Gozaimasu. Ohio gozaimasu. Is that right?
Perfect.
Ohio.
That is perfect. Ohio gozaimasu.
Ohio
That's how you say
gozaimasu.
good morning in Japanese.
Okay.
Awesome.
Ohio gozaimasu. Okay.
Ohio gozaimasu.
Okay. Got it. Next.
Okay. So next we're going to learn, and you might have heard of this, konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa,
So
we know.
konnichiwa means good afternoon, and it also is like another way to say hello more informally. But if it's the morning, you would usually use Ohio gozaimasu instead of konnichiwa.
Okay.
And if it's later in the evening, just like in the U.S., we have a greeting that is for the evening time, which is next. It is konbanwa, which means good evening.
Konbanwa. Konbanwa.
Perfect.
Oh,
Perfect.
See, you know what? We knew C was great at graphics.
Yes.
And now we learned something more. C knows a lot.
C, you know it all.
Don't hide your talents behind the graphics board, okay?
Thank you. And I'm going to be here all week to teach you guys more Japanese.
Oh, good.
Thank
We look
you,
forward to it, C.
We'll
Thank
see
you
tomorrow
so much.
When we learn about food
See you
and
tomorrow.
drink.
Oh, I love
Something
it.
that Hoda's going to need when she gets there.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know how to say chips?
I'm going to ask C about chips and something boozy.
Okay.
Okay. So you guys know the Milwaukee Bucks star, Giannis. Okay, I'm going to pronounce this right.
do it right.
Wait, will
Do
you
it
give
right.
it to me in my ear?
Giannis
Antetokounmpo. Okay, he shared some wise words about humility. This is really important, and it went viral, and you understand why this guy is wildly successful. He's knocking on the door of Game 5 of the NBA Finals.
So a reporter asked him how he keeps his ego in check as a 26-year-old superstar, and here's what he had to say.
When you focus on the past, that's your ego. I did this. We were able to, beat this team 4-0. I did this in the past. I won that in the past. Right. And when I focus in the future, is my pride. Like, next game 5, I do this and this and this. Right. I'm going dominant. That's your pride talk. I kind of try to focus in the, in the moment, in the present, and that's humility. That's being humble. That's not setting no expectation.
That's so interesting.
Oh my God.
Giannis
profound.
had such great advice because it's so true. If you think to the past, you're either criticizing yourself.
Yes.
Some of us.
Yes.
You know, we're thinking,
Yes.
why'd I do that? Or
Yes.
what could have been a better mom here?
Yes.
Or you're thinking about something great that happened.
Bragging about what you did, and the future is, here's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, the future has to be hopeful or positive. Otherwise.
My God, that was so profound. Well,
Are there ways that you stay in the present?
I tried to, but I don't think I've ever heard it framed quite like that. Because the humility in the present, like that's so true, because you haven't done anything, and you have nothing in the past and nothing in the future, so you don't have anything.
Sure.
Yeah, that was really profound. All right, it is time for Unscripted. Okay, so there's a podcast called Office Ladies, and Jenna Fisher, she plays Pam on The Office.
Yes.
So she had this thing where she talked about how she auditioned for a gig. It was a great one, and I think she thought she was going to get it, but then she didn't because she was typecast.
Okay, so she was originally cast, it sounds like, to play Matt LeBlanc's wife on a sitcom called Man with a Plan. She even shot the first pilot episode. So she actually sort of had the role.
But she was recast because a focus group watched it and they said, oh no, we don't see it. We can't imagine that Pam from The Office would marry Joey from Friends. So she didn't get it because they always saw her as Pam and they saw Matt LeBlanc as Joey. Why didn't they recast it?
Should they recast her?
I guess it was his show. She was just auditioning.
I don't know. It's so interesting because I do think from the time you're little, people think of you as one way.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
shy, outgoing.
You're the loud
one.
She's the quiet one. You're the
sounds like Jenna and Barbara.
That we were. I mean, my parents did not compare us. Thank goodness, and I don't know how they did it.
Yeah,
and there's nothing to knock on, but this weird rock. Is this a fossil, by the way? What,
maybe it's
what
wood.
Is this doing?
You know what it looks like? It looks like a tortoise shell. That's what I was going to say.
Why do we have a tortoise shell sitting here?
Because we have lots of interesting tchotchkes.
I mean, I like it because I can try to hide my coffee cup behind it, but it didn't really work. It's interesting because I do think that from the time you're little, you're sort of the person and even your family that's that way.
They typecast you.
You know?
And I think as you go through your professional life, too, sometimes you're always seen in one role. And if you want to try something else, they're like, no, but you're so good at this role. And you're like, but I don't want to be in that role anymore.
I know.
I remember I did Dateline for all those years. And I remember when I kind of raised my hand and said, I'd like to do this new fourth hour of Today, most people were like, oh, no, she doesn't do that. No, no, that's not for you. And I remember trying to break out of that role is hard. And you stepped into this role and people had you figured out in a different way.
Yeah. I know I think when you come from a family where people know who family members are, it's like the question we always get is, are you going to go into politics?
Yeah.
And Barbara and I used to kind of in unison as twins do be like, no. And now, of course, we're less rude about it because we do want people to run for office. But I think it's it's hard to see people in their own light.
Yes. And
it takes a little extra time, but golly, do we need it.
And it takes guts to admit it. Like, this is not who I want to be. I want to be this.
Okay, that was therapeutic. I feel like I needed to lie on a couch. Welcome back to Today Talks and our exclusive content you can only see here on Today All Day.
I watched your sex show, and I did not like it. Wait, it's not called Sex Ed, it's called Sex Life.
But why are you saying it's my show?
Well, I just want to say that you watched it and you talked about it.
Okay, can I just say...
And you said you watched the whole thing from beginning to end. So if something captivates you from beginning to end...
I'll tell you what captivated me.
Know.
An airplane.
No, but you weren't...
By myself, with them downloaded on Netflix.
Okay.
I couldn't help it.
How long was the flight?
4 hours.
How many episodes did you watch? Did you watch some of them when you got home later?
I sure did.
Okay. So.
But can I just go ahead and also say this? When you said, I'm going to watch the show, what did I say to you?
You said, do not watch it, you'll hate it.
And
However,
then you went ahead and thought that wasn't advice?
I thought you didn't know a certain part of me. Because that you didn't think I would think it was interesting.
What is
a part of me that might be interested in something saucy. But that was not saucy.
I told you that. And frankly, the whole reason why this show came into our orbit is because you recommended it to me.
No, I recommended Lovesick.
Is that a good show, Lovesick?
Yes.
Did you watch the whole thing?
Yeah, I still have 2 more to go because I.
Is it funny?
It's British kind of humory,
I like
funny.
British.
Okay, you'll like it.
I thought that's what I was watching. Instead, I was watching something.
When did you realize you weren't watching?
Episode 1, Scene 1, minute
By the way,
5.
We've been on TikTok for a few weeks now. The only clip that went viral out of all of our clips was one where you were showing me a scene from episode 3, minute 19 or whatever the heck it was.
You memorized it because you've gone back to watch it.
I have not. But you showed it to me, and I was horrified by what I saw because any human being would have been. And then that 6 seconds of horror is the only TikTok that we've done that went viral.
There's something about that. It went viral because I watched it about 1 million times because both of us, you have this pure horror look, and I have this sort of like...
And by the way, the backstory on that is you kept saying, let's do it today. And I was like, no, I don't want to look at it right now. We'll do it tomorrow. And you're like, no, today.
What I was saying is, I'd like to watch the show first. No spoilers. And I'm like, this is not a spoiler. It's one moment of hilarity.
Well, you were right. It was not a spoiler, but it was horrifying.
But also, from now on, when I say I don't think you'll like the show...
Okay, well, let's talk about another show that you love, Ted Lasso.
Yes.
And what did you said you saw a premiere?
Jason Sudeikis was at the premiere, and he wore, and first of all, we admire him so much.
We love Jason Sudeikis.
He's going to be here on Thursday, and we're so looking forward to it. We love Ted Lasso, and he wore a T-shirt to the premiere with the names of the UK football players, the soccer players who had been targeted, and for not making the goals, but really in racist, horrible.
Yeah. So he wore their names on his shirt.
Shirt.
I remember on the show you said after we did that story, because it was so horrifying that those guys were treated that way after they missed their penalty shots, you said, I wonder what Ted Lasso would say. And how funny that he was at the premiere, and that was in London,
Yeah, I think it was in London, but also just how cool that he uses his spotlight for others. I'm just so happy that he's going to. I mean, first of all, we need Ted Lasso back.
Yeah.
Anyway. After the sex show that you recommended to me, I'm glad that Ted Lasso is coming back.
Do you see what's happening right now? Okay. Well, Jason Sudeikis is going to be in studio with us later on.
We're so looking forward.
Anyway, that was it for this episode of Today Talks. Are you happy you saw it or not? Anyway, for more of Today, Rope says yes. More of Today all day right here.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Find your favorite recipes, celebrity interviews, uplifting stories, shop our favorite deals, and so much more with the Today app. Download it now.